Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we are looking at the front seat hardware elements for the Jaguar Mark 2. So this video is purely focused on the front seats of the car and we're really focusing on the hardware elements, so i.e. the seat foam paddings, the diaphragms on the backrest squabs, etc. And what we've got here is we've got a fully trimmed seat here, and then we've got the hardware setup on the other hand. It's a bit of a unique one, this one actually. So the customer bought some seat covers from us, but none of the hardware elements, because he'd already sourced the hardware foams and whatnot from one of the main wholesalers in the industry. And then he tried to get a local trimmer to trim up the seats, but the results were mixed, shall we say, to put it kindly, and he wanted them improving. So we said that we would certainly have a look at undoing and retrimming, and we thought this would be an ideal opportunity to do a seat hardware video for this specific car. So like I said, it's a Jaguar Mark 2, but it's also applicable to the 240 and 340 models because they are essentially Mark 2s. It was only the materials that essentially changed on there, apart from a couple of other tweaks. These particular versions here are the 8-pleat versions, indicated by the number of pleats on the cushions and the backrest. They did also offer a 7-pleat version of the seat, but again, the concept for trimming is very, very similar. But yeah, as you can see here, these are the front seats in the Mark II here. So they're fairly substantial seats in the grand scheme of things. It's worth noting there are other videos that I've done showing the seat covers, obviously, elements of things, including a brief overview of the hardware side of things, but then also the fully trimmed versions of the seats that we do offer to customers all over the world. So be sure to check those out. Some of those videos will be linked at the end of this video. Other ones be worth just spending a bit of time on our YouTube channel and familiarising yourself with it. I also have a lot of photos of trimming processes. We're kind of in the process now of trying to make guides for all of the trimming work in the cars. It's going to be a while off before we're fully there, but it's certainly in the progress. And what I want to try and do in the meantime is do these intermediary videos where I'm showing an example of a trim seat here to see the results that you should be looking to achieve, either yourself or a professional trimmer, but give you a basic indication overview of the seat hardware that we can supply and how it kind of all goes together. Now with that, this video, a bit of a caveat, because like I mentioned before, the customer bought the seat covers from us, but actually he bought the seat hardware from another wholesaler. So the seat hardware pieces between the part trim seat and our versions are subtly different, but the concept is exactly the same, and I will obviously show you the differences there. So let's just have a quick overview of what we got here. So this down here, it's effectively the cushion base, the bit your bum goes on, so this element here, and it's essentially made up of a spring unit which has been all reconditioned. It's then got a Hessian Scrim or a Calico Scrim, which we can also supply if you want, and they are hog ringed on, as you can see around there, and that effectively, one, allows you to subtly alter the height of the spring if you need, but two, it then gives a base level layer protection for the foam to the spring. You then have the seat cushion base foam, which is molded latex. Now that's one of the differences. This aftermarket one is slightly different to our one here. You can see ours is a bit sort of square in certain areas, but whereas this one's a bit more curvaceous. But in all honesty, obviously we've retrimmed this one using that version there, and obviously we've trimmed loads using our version there. So I think it's a bit of a not a huge amount of difference between them effectively, so just bear that in mind. But I thought I would try and be as transparent as possible and make you realise that there is a subtle difference in the foams. I think there's probably about 3 or 4 different suppliers of moulded foams in the industry. We certainly used around 3 of them previously, and like I say, they're much of a muchness. It's all down to sort of firmness, curvaceousness, etc. But a competent trimmer should be able to work their way around that element of things. So obviously this one here, you can see the residue of the glue where we've had to untrim the seat to do a better job for the customer there. So yeah, they're the cushion based foams. Now in terms of the hardware side of things, we do sell the cushion based foams as a pair, so effectively enough to do a car set. Same with the Hessian Scrim, we sell that as a pair there. Now we sometimes use Hessian Scrim, we sometimes use a black Calico material, but the concept is exactly the same, so just bear that in mind. So that's effectively the cushion bases. Now we can also supply hog rings if you want, and hog ring guns. Depends how far you want to go with that sort of process there. So these are hog rings there, and you have like a special gun that you feed them into, and then some effectively hog ring pliers that you pinch them together and use all around there. They're great for trimming any seats that have that spring element to the bottom of them there, so do bear that in mind. Then onto the backrest squab side of things, you have a lot more hardware pieces to the backrest squab. So you have the Backrest Padding Kit, which is actually made up of this piece here and these pieces here, and obviously we sell that as a pair as well, i.e. a car set's worth. So the padding kit consists of this piece and those pieces there, times 2 obviously for the seats. Now again, supplied by different companies, so theirs is subtly different, but you can see effectively they are the same here. So attached onto the framework here, what we've done is we've unglued it and done a lot of the gluing on this one here, and you can see it's a bit messy compared to ours, but again, you should be able to work around that with any competent trimmer in terms of folding edges over and gluing it down like that and whatnot, which is the general concept on right angled pieces of foam, is that you actually get, that's a good example at the back here, you bend it round onto the flat piece and it creates the curve effectively there. So effectively what you've got is the underside padding, which is the bit that goes directly onto the frame. Originally was rubberized horsehair, which is what this is here. In fact, I think they might have reused the original stuff, not entirely sure. They've then padded out with a bit of extra upholstery wadding, which is never a bad idea with these sorts of things. Again, we can sell upholstery wadding. We sell it in I think 8-meter bags, which is ample for a set of seats, but that's always good for padding out certain areas. But what we do slightly differently is basically, if you ignore this piece I folded back here and this piece here, which are those bits there, the rest, which is Hessian horsehair, sorry, rubberized horsehair here, is effectively what we offer here with this foam, where we do 2 different thicknesses of foam. You have the back sections and the side bolsters with extra lumbar support on, which is effectively what they've tried to do here with some upholstery wadding in that section there. So you can do that. It's horses for courses, these sorts of things, but we find this works very effectively. And what you'll find here is you have, we call it the smiley face on the back, which is pre-slit, which will come into its own in a second when I get around the back. Well, yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to explain it a bit more than that, but basically through these holes in the diaphragm here, you pull the Calico Scrim that's sewn to the inside of the backrest element of the seat cover. In fact, if you bear with me, I believe I have, yeah, there we go. Let's have a look at this. So this, it's normally sewn in one piece around there and you cut it up into strips and pull it through, but obviously as we've untrimmed the job here, we're going to be replacing a few of these because they're a bit knackered, but that's effectively what you pull through. So it'll pull through the slit, the smiley face on the foam there, and then you'll pull them through these elements here and they get trimmed down. Like I say, I have got several photos of the trimming process, so if you've got any questions or your trimmer's got any questions, do let us know. But that's the basic concept there. So in terms of our seat hardware, the backrest padding, you start off with that there that goes directly onto the frame. It's effectively what this rubberized horsehair is here. It has the smiley face there, which is where the scrims from the front seats will get pulled through eventually. And then you have the top part of the foam padding, which is this obviously horseshoe section here, which obviously becomes very obvious in this section here, and it gives you all of this, the dip down effectively into the center panel, which is this piece here, which is that piece there, causes that lovely almost bucket curve to it in that area there. So it's all about getting the right curves on these sort of things by applying the pressure and tension in different areas and sculpting it into place basically. But effectively that's the horseshoe foam there, and then the centerpiece goes in the middle there, in the middle of this section here. So that's the sort of padding. Now, like I say, trimming is an organic process, i.e. you'll trim one seat one way, you'll try and exactly replicate that on the other seat, and it won't necessarily turn out the same way because it just works differently each time. So having some upholstery wadding on hand is certainly not a bad idea, because it will help fill out certain areas that you just can't get to sit correctly, so do bear that in mind. But you can see here how the foam gets wrapped round and then glued to this top part here, and you bend it over so that the right angled edge is effectively bent over onto the metal, and so it's all curved. And basically certain areas of the seat like that, if you have a right angle on the foam, you do normally want to be bending it and curving it round so that it sits in the seat nice and smoothly, and you don't have this kind of right angle the whole time. Moving on to the back of the backrest squab, you have tacking strips which go around the circumference here. Again, we can supply those. They're made out of ply. You get 3, 1, 2, 3 per seat. We sell them in car sets, so you'll end up with 6 effectively. There, you'll often find those are reusable, but if you do need them, we can supply them. You then get the sort of backrest diaphragm section, which is effectively its spring for the backrest. So that hooks in. We do supply those, again sold in pairs. They have the hooks on the side of them, and that is where you hook them through. It creates the resistance effectively, and the holes in the middle here are for pulling the scrim through, which then get glued down. You can see the remnants of where it gets glued down, and it just creates the tension and gives you the definition, shall we say, when you're pulling through the scrim, so that the definition around this section here is correct as per the trimmed seat. You then have a little bit of an offcut of foam here, which you'll have remnants of this here, which normally sits at the bottom here. Just FYI, I've left it on the floor of the bit there, just for the sake of explaining. You then have this backrest panel. Now, I believe this is only applicable to the 8-pleat seats. In fact, I think the diaphragm and the backrest panel are only applicable to the 8-pleat seats. I think the 7-pleat seats worked in a slightly different way. So do see our website for more details on that, or contact me directly. But these are hardboard panels, and they are effectively the bit that gets boarded onto the back there, and it gets the moquette and the vinyl piece trimmed to it. So this is said piece trimmed up. So you get in the kit vinyl, piped and moquette all sewn together, ready to go, and this is what it gets trimmed to. So it gets trimmed all the way around the outside. You have these fixings going around the outside circumference. Now, these are the original fixings. Those are actually quite hard to get hold of these days, so either reuse your original ones if you have, or you can replace them with the sort of standardized trim clips here. So let us know if you have to update them to those there. You might have to fiddle around to get them to fit into the frame correctly, but you can get it done. And then they had these 2 metal clip bolts at the bottom there, which you effectively loop in, so they're going in like that, and then you're popping this in place at the top there. Oh, there we go. That gets trimmed around, and yeah, there's a bit of foam on the back there as well, just for the extra padding there. So that's the hardboard pieces. Again, they are sold as a car set, i.e. 2 of them, or rather a pair of them, because they are subtly handed. You can see the cutaways on the corner there. And just to show you obviously how it all ends up, this is the trimmed up seat with lovely definition, as you can see. So the cushion bases are effectively trimmed completely independently and separately. Then they kind of wedged into the backrest, whereas the backrest is trimmed independently of the cushion, and then the cushion is added after. Obviously, with that element of things, you do need to be mindful of lining up pleats, which is why the previous trimmer has scribbled all over these, because that is the key to make sure the pleats all line up, which, as you can see on those, absolutely beautifully done. And then after that, it's all about getting the definition around this horseshoe section, which is all related to how this foam is all put together and sculpted effectively. And then it's about the amount of tension that you're putting on the seat cover, pulling it through so that it gets the definition in the right areas. As well, this is where upholstery wadding comes in very useful sometimes, and those sorts of things. Actually, it's normally very useful on these cushioned foams going around these corners here, because you effectively anchor the pleated panel in round that groove there and pull everything round, and sometimes you get little sort of creases and air bubbles round the corners, and so upholstery wadding sort of underneath, stretched out and clumped up in whatever area, really does help that process of cleaning out any of the creases and whatnot. But yeah, you'll normally, to get good results, you're going to normally need a steamer as well to make sure that everything looks as good as it should look. Only other thing to really talk about briefly, two things. Picnic table. This has got picnic tables, but we haven't fitted them yet. In fact, I think the customer is getting them effectively smartened up. He's getting new walnut put on them, so we haven't got those yet, but you can see the fixings in there for the picnic table. Not all the cars did have picnic tables. And then you have the moquette element of the mechanisms. So you have these side bits here, which are effectively these pieces here. Again, there are different variants of these. Our seat kit, as I do cover in some of our other videos, includes, I think, 2 or 3 different versions, because they had 2 or 3 different versions, but they're quite hard to work out which pieces are for which, purely from photos. So we oversupply on those ones, so you'll always end up with spare bits of moquette in our seat kit, because we make sure we cover our bases by supplying all the different versions. But that's effectively how those are trimmed on this particular version here. This is obviously off that untrimmed seat over here. So moquette, which is it's a carpet like material, so well, it's wool, it's short pile, no backing on it, and it was typically used by Jaguar during this era for the backs of the seats and the wheel arches and things like that. And you also had this sort of kickboard at the very bottom, which is this section here underneath there. And again, that did differ between different cars, but we make our kits, should we say, universal enough that the process, you have easily enough material basically to do those there. But yeah, as you can see, very nicely done job, at least second time round. And yeah, obviously I will plan on doing a follow-up video to this, which will show both of these seats fully trimmed up next to each other so you can see the results. But I thought I'd give you a bit of a crash course on the seat hardware that we can supply and the basic principle of how they're trimmed. This is not meant to be an informative video of literally how to trim a seat. Those are in the works, but in the meantime, if you do have any questions along those lines, do not hesitate to contact us. We're more than willing to help. I do it on a weekly basis, talking to customers all over the world and their professional trimmers on the ways that these things should be trimmed. It's one of the main reasons I set up the YouTube channel, is to show and prove that our seat covers, which are all cut on a CAD CNC machine, do fit, and they're the best fitting in the industry. And the proof's in the pudding, as they say. This is why I've done the YouTube channel, to try and showcase that ours are the best kits in the world. And obviously then what I'm doing is trying to reverse engineer certain things to show you how some of the hardware elements, which are not always on show from photos on our website because they're fully trimmed up, looking lovely, but trying to do these intermediate videos to showcase the basics of how they go together. So I hope you found it useful. Please do ask any comments in the question areas below. Obviously, please remember to subscribe to our channel and like our channel, and share it with other classic car enthusiasts out there. And be sure to check out our other videos, not just at the end of this one, but also on our YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.